Welcome everyone to the L7C podcast Dragon Ball edition. Today we are going to be talking about Dragon Ball Super Manga Chapter 90, the last one of the Dragon Ball Super Super Hero prequel, as now we will be going into the Dragon Ball Super Super Hero movie as of next month. We have the Dragon Ball expert, Mr. Mitch Oso. How are you doing today, sir?
Well, fantastic. I miss you being actually here in person, man. So being remote, man.
Yeah, for those which actually I don't know which one will come out first, but if you're listening to this and the strongest of Dragon Ball Super has come out, that one was recorded in person, and this one we're back to our remote locations. And if this episode comes out after the strongest in Dragon Ball Super, make sure you watch that one. I do think with some of the stuff that will be in like the YouTube video of like seeing our list and the pictures and our discussion, that might be our best Dragon Ball podcast we've ever done so far.
So listen up, people. Make sure you tune in, you like, you subscribe, you leave a comment. They say that with everything in which they do nowadays, so you've heard it a billion times. So yeah, give it a like, give it a listen, and please comment and tell me how wrong I am. Please, professionally, respectfully, of course. It's
and
all
def-
love.
and definitely by the time this episode goes out, there actually will be a poll up of some of the people. We just want to know who you think are the strongest in Dragon Ball Super. If you think it's Gas, Granola, Beerus, Black Frieza, one of the Saiyans, one of the fusions, that poll should be going up. By the time you hear this episode, that poll will be up. So go to our YouTube and vote for that. And there'll be a poll on our Spotify episode as well.
There we go. Sounds like a plan. Sounds like we got stuff going into the pipeline.
Yes, we
Pretty good
do.
day.
Yes, we do. So, Mitch, you did call that this prequel arc was going to be done relatively quickly, and this is the last chapter of the prequel.
Yep, just a simple, like, 3 chapters here. I mean, nice little side quest and nice little change of paces we have said the previous months. And, well, it's finally over. So let's just, quick rundown as to what happens. We start off the chapter with Krillin. Krillin's a cop now. He's just looking for the zombie androids and whatnot. He's asking around town where they are, and he finds them at work at a corner market store, and he goes in there, and he tries to arrest them all and whatnot, and he is semi successful. I mean, he actually gets them out. Maya's in there, and not really much happens there other than just that Krillin and Maya talk about these androids and what's going on. But we see that Goten is flying in from school. Remember, he lives out in the middle of the mountains, and I like this little part of the chapter where it shows that he is riding the Nimbus, and just a cool little, connection to basic Dragon Ball back in the days. But what Goten does is he flies the Nimbus in, and he gets dropped off a couple of blocks away from the bus stop because he doesn't want the students to know that he lives super far away and whatnot. And so he hops on the bus, and there's some dialogue in between with him and some of the students asking why they never see him around after school, and one girl wants to ask, Trunks out to the dance that's coming up. They also ask how in the world is Goten and Trunks best friends whenever they're a year apart, and Trunks acknowledges that their friend or their family is, connected, of course. And but going back to that whole thing about the girl here asking if Goten can put in a good word for her with Trunks for the dance. He says that he doesn't think that Trunks will be up for it because he believes that Trunks is going to ask Mai, and a little dialogue there. But then we find that the bus comes to a screeching halt, and all the students, they go flying in front of the bus. And before I continue with this, if you happen to have the manga chapter out, go to page, 8, 9, which is where we are right now. And
Mm-hmm.
Martin, Do you notice on page 8 when the bus comes to a halt and all the students are going forward? You see Goten in the middle aisle, correct?
Yeah.
Look forward. Do you see that kid? Does is that is an identical copy of like Majin Buu Saga Krillin.
Yes, it is. Yeah, it is.
Like I don't know if that was done on purpose. I did not notice that prior to actually this podcast and also in my first initial reading there. But I mean that is spot on Majin Buu Saga Krillin with the hair and the face. So well, at least we acknowledge that there. But anyways, going back to the story here. So the bus is stopped by another android. This one Beta number 7, and this one looks like an Elvis impersonation.
Hmm.
Um, big old little tubby blarb Elvis here. So all due respect to real Elvis, rest in peace. Spoiler alert, he's not here. And so yep, he Beta number 7 tells Goten to get out of the bus, and he knows that he's one of the Saiyamen. Or Goten plays it off like another weirdo asking or bugging him about this. It's getting old. And then uh, one of the students helps Goten get out, and Goten goes down an alleyway real quick, and he transforms into his Saiyaman outfit, and we get a little bit of little comic relief here with Beta 7 as the bus driver's telling him to get out of the road, and Beta 7's doing like a wide, like superhero stance with
Hmm.
his hands on his hips and his pants ripped. And again, it's not something really to take seriously, but this whole little prequel arc is, all lighthearted fun and whatnot. And we see that Goten and Beta 7 they get into a little tussle, but the Beta 7 is absolutely no match for Gohan and
You mean Go
or
10?
Goten. My apologies. He, yeah. Anyways, the original Saiyaman, pay homage to him too. Anyways, but no. So Beta 7 gets his butt kicked, and then we see Trunks walking over to school because he was not in this fight with Goten on their way to school, and all the kids are talking about the the dance that's coming up this weekend. They also started talking about that at the dance, they're going to have a special guest, and they're going to have Clean God, who was the superhero that everyone was talking about. Goten and Trunks think he's cool. Dr. Hedo loves him, and that'll play in a role, but he will actually be at the dance. And Mai sees on the poster that he's going to be there, and she's been investigating, Dr. Hedo, from the previous chapters there, and she directly asks Trunks if he will take her to the dance. So Trunks is completely surprised that she asked because he was going to ask, but he says yes. And as they're chit chatting there, Mai notices that she's being spied on, or all of them are being spied on. And she looks over her shoulder and she sees a little ladybug with a antenna protruding from the top of its head. My apologies. And it's reminiscent of when Dr. Gero was spying on the Z fighters to gather all their data back in the day. Well, of course, it's Dr. Hedo. He's watching over what they're doing and whatnot. And Beta 7 comes in and he's like, yeah, I lost that fight. I got my butt handed. And Dr. Hedo realizes that Clean God is going to be at the dance. So he tells all of his henchmen that he is going to that dance and that he's going to create a android as a date and not to worry about the disc. Again, he wants to go and see Clean God himself. So we see Goten and Trunks are talking, and Trunks tells him that he's going with Mai. That little bug is about to, approach over to Goten after Trunks leaves, and Mai pulls Goten to the side out of the way and tells him about that bug that's spying on them, and that they're monitoring all of their actions and what Dr. Hedo might have planned. And
So yeah, Mai's talking about telling Goten that they've been watched by that little bug, and that's how it's always showing up wherever I am. Mai knows that Dr. Hedo is a famous scientist and that she knows that no one knows where he's based off of. And like you've already said, he's a big fan of that clean god. And so Goten's asking Mai, because Mai wants to catch him. Goten's like, "You're going to catch Mr. Hedo yourself. Isn't that a job for a superhero?" And then Mai just said, "I'm tired of being a damsel in distress."
so yeah, she says that she's tired of being a damsel in distress, and Goten realizes that she only invited Trunks because of that, and Goten feels bad for Trunks because we all know that Trunks loves Mai or has a crush on Mai, and Mai has absolutely no desire or any interest in present day Trunks. It's only future Trunks that she has any sort of attraction to. But I mean, it is what it is. So maybe that'll change someday. Who knows? Right. But anyway, so the chapter then advances towards the dance itself, and they have a little concert going on there. They have a live band, and Goten ended up taking the girl on the bus who wanted to go with Trunks. She is not enthusiastic about being with Goten, and but she wants to spy on Mai. She wants to see why is Mai so on par with her because she thinks that she is queen shit, and she's just going to scope out the competition per se. Well, Trunks and Mai arrive, and Trunks hands the I want to call him a bellboy, but for being a high school uh, prom homecoming kind of thing for a bellboy to be there. I don't know for you guys if it was different, but for me, yeah, it's definitely not a thing. But I digress. So we see that Trunks he comes in a suit and tie, looking pretty fancy. But Mai comes. This was actually kind of funny. Mai comes in like battle armor.
Mm-hmm.
Like even the students acknowledge that is that a dress or a suit of armor. I mean, she has metal like shoulder pads. She has bracers on. She looks medieval. She looks like she's about to kick some ass. And all the students are just completely just mesmerized by what they're looking at here. And so they're walking through the crowd, Trunks and Mai makes contact with Goten, and she does a little nod towards him because Goten is aware of the plan of trying to capture Dr. Hedo, and the host, maybe he's the principal. I don't know if this gentleman has been introduced in the previous chapter since this has been a short little arc here, but he asks for a round of applause with the band, and then he's introducing that there's going to be Clean Mr. Or Clean God is about to come to the stage, and Trunks rushes up to the front because he wants to see him and asks Mai if she wants to see him, and she's like, "Nah, I can see from back here," because again, she doesn't care about Clean God. She wants to find Doctor Hedo. So Trunks goes up there, and sure enough, he is standing right next to Doctor Hedo. And remember that these two have not interacted before. Trunks does not know anything about him, and Dr. Hedo has been spying on him, but he has his attention completely focused on Clean God. And they start talking about who's the bigger fan, and Dr. Hedo shows that he has a big old shirt underneath his suit of Clean God and blah 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 and whatnot. When Mai notices that Dr. Hedo is, right up front next to the stage, she springs into action. And actually, if we're going to talk about, Toyotaru and how good he actually is at, at drawing these manga chapters, page 23 has a very, very excellent drawing of Mai pulling out a weapon, a pistol, in
Hmm.
that battle armor, and she's pointing it right at Dr. Hedo, and you just got to see it for yourself in case you haven't seen it. But well, sure enough, the person who or android who interrupts Mai from getting a shot on Dr. Hedo is none other than Beta One, the student from the last um, chapter in which Trunks fought there, and then he had the big old Beta 2 machine and all the other hoopla jazz. He stops Mai from actually shooting Dr. Hedo. And at this point, though, Krillin and the rest of the police force, they barge into the dance and they are there to arrest Dr. Hedo under, I guess, the warrant, I would say, for robbing bodies from the morgue,
Yeah.
which I meant that was what I said like 2 chapters ago. Like when we were discussing how is he going to get from, jail, or how's he going to get into jail? I said, yeah, it has to be robbing dead bodies. That makes sense. So there we go. That prediction, while not earth shattering or not inventing the wheel, it was correct. So there we go. Pretty easy. But yeah, Krillin comes in and he's about to save the day. Maya's kind of disappointed that she's not going to be the one who captures him. But Dr. Hito escapes. He uses a smoke launcher or just a smoke grenade, and he gets on out and he gets the zombie androids to drive him back to the hideout. But Krillin and is on the chase, and he flies and starts following them. And inside, Trunks and Mai are, um, they're Trunks is checking on Mai because of the smoke, and he says that you should have looped me in because they start talking about Dr. Hedo and all that other stuff. And Mai says that actually Bulma told her to keep an eye out to make sure that he didn't blunder into trouble and whatnot. But then the bellboy, he's like, "Oh no, they stole all the bags and such." And Trunks realizes that means that Dr. Hedo and them stole the bag with the disc in it. And Mai tells Trunks to, go and catch up with them and, get that disc back. And she even makes the claim that you are Sandman X1. And Trunks, he's in shock. He he thought that she was confused with the future version of him, and she realized that that obviously was not possible with him being the only Trunks in this world. And and then they start talking, and the Trunks says that, "Hey, I'm going to go catch Hedo. I'm going to be the coolest superhero in the world. And then after that, will you let me ask you out for real?" And Maya's kind of like taken aback, like, "Really? That's what you're thinking of right now?" And she agrees to it. She's like, "Hey, you go save the day. We can go on as many dates as you want. Just hurry up." So, all right, kind of I don't think that's like what you would agree to, but oh well, whatever. And so Trunks leaves, to go save the day, and then we see just a couple of panels here of Clean God coming up to the stage, um, doing his skit, but then he realizes that absolutely nobody is in the dance hall anymore. Mai calls him a poser, and then it's the end of that. But then we see that Krillin is flying, catching up. Um, Dr. Hedo and Beta, they discuss that they got the disc and whatnot, and then Goten and Trunks catch up to Krillin, and they're flying up, um, and Krillin gets a call from his HQ, and they start making the connections that Dr. Hedo is being targeted by the Red Ribbon Army, and that's just not good. Being the grandson of their best scientist that they ever had, and Krillin explains a little bit of the Red Ribbon Army history and whatnot. Nothing too in detail, but he basically lets them know that it's not good. And they finally get to the hideout, and Goten, Krillin, and Trunks, they barge in and they're going to arrest Dr. Hedo. And Dr. Hedo uses his last resort to fight them, which he calls a dino android. This
Yeah.
is oh, I don't even know how I want to describe this thing. Not like a Godzilla type thing, because this thing is not, like a size of a mountain, but maybe the size of, a 2 or 3 story building. But it just looks like a big old, actually not a big old dinosaur, more like just a whole bunch of dinosaurs that he chopped up and put together. And yeah, that's what he calls it, the Dino Droid number 1. And he tells the droid to start attacking everyone, and that's what he does. But this Dino Droid is not complete in terms of its mental state. It's very powerful. Trunks tries to blast it with a key blast at its jaw, and it does absolutely nothing to Trunks, which catches him by surprise. But the Dino Droid is just destroying Dr. Hito's lair, and Dr. Hedo makes a remark that maybe next time his funding will go into the actual brains of his droids, and which will probably lead into how smart Gamma 1 and Gamma 2 are. But anyways, well, Krillin recognizes that the dinosaur or Dino Droid has mechanical parts, so he finds the weakness, which is a control panel on the back of the droid's neck, and he uses a destructo disc and destroys it. And then Goten and Gohan, they go Super Saiyan, and they finish the fight, and they use a combo attack called Cyclone Style Tornado Double Hurricane. Um, Typical, I would say, of teenagers just trying to act cool with their gimmicky names for their attacks. Which, I mean, that goes back to all the way to when they were Goten, Super Ghost Kamikaze Attack, and their donut rings and all the other fun jazz. And well, they save the day. Dr. Hedo goes to jail, and they find out that the disc has been destroyed, and inside the case was actually a autograph from Clean God. And Dr. Hedo says that he has memorized all the data on that disc anyway, and that he didn't have really any interest in Dr. Giro's work, and so on and so forth. And then the chapter ends with just some context that Dr. Hedo was sent to jail again for taking bodies from the morgue. But because, now this is kind of goofy, but because he resurrected dead people, and then they were able to allow the army of zombies go back to their families, his sentence was reduced. So he's only received a 3-month jail sentence for this. We see that one of the football player's zombies, he busts through the door at home and says, "Mommy, I'm home." And the mom is like elderly. She's like, "Oh, my darling departed boy, it's some creepy ass shit. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I don't even want to get into the ramifications of what we're looking at there." But we see that Dr. Hedo, he's saying that, he's always going to continue his research. He doesn't need his lab there. He'll get a new one, and he'll work remotely. And you see him that he's flying around a little tiny bee droid, and he's he's collecting more data on people, and the prison guards are completely clueless idiots for not even paying attention. And then he says that giving up is not his style, and that when he will create the ultimate android, which, as Martin said, leads up to Dragon Ball Super Superhero movie. Yep, and that's it. So that's how it ends.
I like how there was this one part where Krillin was talking about like, oh, you both like I didn't like them getting involved and whatnot. And I'm like, dude, they've been fighting since they were like little kids. I'm pretty sure what dangers lie ahead. If you're charging in straight forward, I think they'll be okay.
Like, think about it. Like, I really don't understand why they're telling them not to get involved whenever, just 9 years ago they were throwing those two at Majin Buu.
Yeah, because I mean,
I mean, like, they
at
were
a
like,
point you
hey,
thought they were the only people left because Gohan was well dead because we didn't know like when
yeah,
they thought Gohan was dead, Vegeta was dead, Goku went back to Otherworld. They were literally Earth's last line of defense
yep.
before they were 10.
And that's the thing. They are significantly, actually, honestly, I don't even know if I can make this claim. Like, I was going to say they are significantly stronger than Krillin, right?
Um,
But you can't say that anymore.
mhm.
Because at least in anime, Krillin fought Super Saiyan Blue Goku. Like, it's,
I was just gonna simply say Krillin got invited to the Tournament of Power where they could have took Goten at Trunks.
it's again, it is whatever. But anyways, but yeah, I mean, there should be. If I was Krillin, I'd be inviting them to fight every single day. I mean, he could be the cool uncle. Like that's what Krillin should be. It's just the cool uncle, but he's not. He's
Yeah,
like,
make your job easier, dude. You know who these costumed heroes are. Just call them on the side, have them do all the work, then you take the credit.
I mean, how he is not the leader of the police force yet is kind of mind blowing because he's probably the only person on the police force that can freaking fly,
Oh yeah, fly, key blast, the strength. Oh yeah.
dodge bullets.
Hmm.
Like he should be employee of the month every single day.
Yeah.
Like he is the Mirrors of the Galactic, like Mirrors in the Galactic Patrol. That's what Krillin is to just West City's like police force.
No, that's a good analogy. That's a good point. Because he should be out there like all the police people around the world should be like, man, we have this police officer named Krillin. He's so great. And
But nope, they don't. They don't do that at all. Now, I do want to talk again. What are your thoughts there on page 23 of, that drawing of my like Toritaro, like we have to applaud when he puts pen to paper. Like he
Mhm.
does it really freaking well. Like it's really good.
No, I agree. That when she pulls her pistol, that was a really good drawing of her. Like, I mean, when he is drawing, it does look really, really well. And then I hate saying the line, but that's why some people are always like, man, I can't wait to see it animated. Oh my
I'll be
God.
honest with you. I don't know if the anime can um and obviously animation and pen to paper it's very different artistic style. There's going to be things in the anime that obviously we're going to like just be like, oh, that's good. But I don't think that scene will look as good. I do ponder if the scene where they destroyed Dino Droid 1 at the end by throwing themselves through his abdomen will be good. Honestly, like, do you think that the anime, if this gets animated, do you think that the anime would actually look good for this arc? Because I mean, Super Saiyan 3 Goku going up against Beerus in the anime at the very beginning looked like hot garbage.
Yes, it was very bad. It was
It,
that was very, very bad. Like those first couple of arcs were not drawn the best.
no, they were not. So would hope that. that they would give everything in which they pump out, all the resources that those animators need to actually make the product look good. But when we're talking about a filler episode, I could see, someone just be like, nah, I really don't want to pay, someone a whole bunch of money, even though this franchise like pulls in $1 billion every year. But oh well, whatever. It was crazy, but so what are your overall thoughts on the arc? Did you think it was rushed? Do you think that it was fun? Are you over it? Are you ready to,
No, I
get like
think it was nice and to the point. They didn't linger. Like they could have dragged it on more if they really wanted to, but I think it was a nice little different thing. It's interesting how fickle Dragon Ball fans could be because when this was announced that Goten and Trunks were going to be the mains, and we got to see him like taller and all that stuff, people were super excited, yada yada. But as soon as the first manga was done, they're like, "All right, Trunks is a simp. We're over this school stuff that normal teenagers need to do. Where's Goku at?" And all. So that when Goku and Vegeta come back, they're going to be like, "We don't." We don't give shine to other characters. It's like, what are we doing?
it always seems like, and this is with everything in society, whoever is bitching the loudest is heard.
Mm-hmm.
So we, you need stories like this to eventually build people up to actually be important. Because if you think about it, like if this was Dragon Ball, this is relatively like the same kind of level of threat. Actually, this level of threat is probably worse, significantly worse than anything that Goku dealt with in Dragon Ball. But like sometimes there's like goofy panels in there, there's side stories, there's just minor little character development. Like this is Dragon Ball all the time. And it's just because of the context of being, in between, gas and granola and, gamma one and two that some people are just like, this doesn't fit in. But no, this is exactly what we need because we start, setting stones, in the creek so that we can walk across. And like my analogy of that is this is where we get Trunks and Goten more involved. And then maybe we can see them be more important to future arcs. Especially if Gohan, like, I really don't understand why Goten and Trunks can't have the same potential as Gohan. And the thing is that, these two seem to fight more than what Gohan does. Like, at least recently. They just need to go through some rigorous training with Piccolo or in a hyperbolic time chamber or with their parents. And also, they have to run into, uh, old Kai so they can unlock their potential. But regardless, but like if Gohan can be sweet, I don't understand why these two cannot be sweet as well.
Yeah, it's weird too, especially with Trunks, because obviously you see this Trunks who did not go through the same experiences as future Trunks did and how he had to train all this stuff. Because this Trunks is, I mean, he's a normal, well, as normal as you could be being half human, half sand. He's literally a normal teenager.
Mm-hmm.
Like, sure, like, but we're just like, dude, what are you doing? Because we're saying that as a you're a sand, yada yada. But as a normal teenager, perfectly normal, over there trying to get a girl, like friends in school, like all that, doesn't want to go into the family business, wants to go his own path. He's a normal, like, teenager in real life.
Do you think they need to keep present Trunks, the way in which his character is, or does he need to have like some sort of, I don't know, maturity, like a growth? Because like how he is right now is the complete opposite of what future Trunks is. So like back in the Zamasu arc, you could tell the personality differences in their experiences. Do you want that difference in personalities to stay that way in case future Trunks ever comes back? Or do you want a more serious, you know, present day Trunks?
I think I don't think though. I don't think it could be as serious as present future Trunks. I don't think that's possible. But I do think that Goten and Trunks will need the same pick me up like Piccolo gave Gohan in the movies. Like, hey, if a threat comes, what are you gonna do? Well, Gohan's like, oh, just my dad and Vegeta will handle it. Goten and Trunks are super far removed from that. They haven't had a serious fight since Super Boo. At least Gohan fought in the exhibition with Universe 6 and 9 and Universe 7 and 9. And Gohan fought in the Tournament of Power. So he knew the stakes. Like Goten and Trunks haven't had stakes in forever.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think that's the problem. I mean, the closest was them wasn't even stakes, was just staying on an island with Marin while 17 was gone.
Yeah, I agree. How many? So, if they're going to do a superhero, if they're going to do a manga for Dragon Ball Super Super Hero, how many chapters do you want that to be? Like, since you already know the story, like four, five? Because
I
we
think
got what, three of this?
I think 4 or 5, which would be 4 to 5 months. It's weird though because, like you said, Broly only got like a picture.
No, he got a reference.
Yeah, a reference.
It it didn't do anything with Broly. So, but they did. They obviously did a little tiny bit of manga highlighting over, Beerus and Frieza. But I mean, those chapters were only like 12 pages. Those
Yep.
are like pamphlets compared to, you know, this 1 month stuff that they release. So
How about you? Like, how did you feel about this, and how long would you want this to be? Like the
I think
stuff
this,
coming forward.
I think this was fine. Just because we went 2 years. Um, oh my God, more than 2 years. Like we basically have not had any sort of like breather in terms of like the intensity of these arcs. I
Hmm.
mean, Moro, Gas. I mean, it's been when we started the L7C, we were talking about Moro.
Yeah.
Like that was like our first podcast was sometime during the Moro arc,
Hmm.
and then we went straight into Gas, and I mean that was, I mean that's almost what 3 years, 2 years, two or
Yeah.
three. I think we're on our third year now, so like this was just yeah. I think this arc was perfect length of just 3 chapters there. As for the upcoming arc, if it's superhero, I don't think I don't think I want more than 5 chapters. Like, because I'm like, we already know the story, so it's not like they have to hash out all of the details. But if they do want to, fix some, maybe plot holes or set up for future, whoever the next future villain is after Gamma 1 and Gamma 2, um, then they'll be able to do so then real quick. Because I mean, it has to be Frieza. I mean, I don't really know how you go from, you know, Cell Max to Frieza, but I mean, they got to do it. Maybe that's the thing. Maybe, what they want to do is they want Beast Gohan to be the one that then goes and fights Black Frieza. That he's the only one who has a chance against Frieza. So,
I just would be interested to see if, like, when this all finishes with the superhero arc, where because at the end of the movie, Whis finally gets to his staff and he's like, oh, Bulma's been calling it the chief, about to rip him a new one because of all the stuff they missed. Now, if we could see something where, like, Goku and Vegeta test Gohan to see like how different this new sand, like this new form is compared to theirs, that'd be something I'd be very interested to see because then we could finally see like power wise where this is truly at.
actually, what would be? I bet. Well, who would you, if you had to pick one of three people? who would you want to see Beast Gohan fight? Goku, Ultra Instinct, Vegeta, Ultra Ego, or Broly?
Surprisingly, well, because bro, I would actually pick Vegeta.
I think I'm in agreement with you. I'm really happy you said that because we did not discuss that prior.
I think it'd be Vegeta because I already know what Goku and Gohan like train. Like I saw it when they were in the time chamber. Hell, I saw it in Super where Gohan in one day was able to catch up to Super Saiyan Blue freaking Goku. But him and Vegeta is like what is Gohan as an adult. They've never sparred or fought before.
No.
So that would be very interested. If like Toriyama kept the original plan and Goku like stayed dead and Gohan was the main character, it would have been like Gohan versus Majin Vegeta.
Hmm.
So now they've never fought as adults, so that'd be was Gohan as an adult. That'd be something I'd be very interested in seeing.
I agree.
I
I
mean,
don't want to see Goku versus Gohan. I just don't want to see that. And I think I would be fine with Broly and Gohan, the people with the highest potentials amongst
mhm.
anyone in the entire series, bar Frieza, or
And
Jiren,
Jiren, yeah.
but like no, I think what if Vegeta lost?
Well, I'm
Would that
afraid
hurt?
that I,
Would that be the worst loss that he could take?
um
I think so.
the
Because
worst loss in
Gohan's
his
not doing
career.
no, I meant in terms of worst loss towards his character development.
Yeah, I think that'd be very bad because, like you said, Gohan has it. Well, I have to give Gohan some credit manga wise because he really did show up and he was whooping 7-3's ass.
Correct.
So I have to give him manga wise. Like he was still like strong, but then we're gonna see this training and stuff maybe. But yeah, it'd be bad for Vegeta, especially if Vegeta's now with the end size like I'm training to beat Frieza, which we've already saw in these previews, but now I can't beat Gohan. How can I
Yeah.
beat Frieza if I can't beat Gohan? Or is Gohan's depths of his power really that deep? Where like Beast Gohan's just the surface of this new level of power for him.
Yeah. Agreed.
But no. And I also think with Vegeta, he would have, Goku, like with Goku, you might be worried about him pulling punches. Vegeta wouldn't have to worry about that. But my thing with Gohan is, what if it, because it was in the heat of the moment, what if he can't just go right back into Beast Gohan? Like, yes, we pushed again.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. That's what I want to see. Because once this arc's over, I guess with this too, we'll get to maybe see how they finally go get Broly. Like, hey, come with us, come train, because there's going to be a lot of things going on. Like, we'll maybe get to see that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That's what we'll see. Now, I would be interested since we're talking about maybe some stuff rematches. I don't think he'll have to go full Ultra Instinct. Maybe black haired. Orange Piccolo versus Goku. Let's bring back the end of Dragon Ball.
That'd be fun.
I mean,
I
Piccolo.
would I would expect Goku to
Oh, Goku would kill him,
decimate.
but just to see, like, all right, like if Orange Piccolo's beating the hell out of Super Saiyan Blue Goku, we're like, okay, we know where this is at.
That's true. Power comparison.
Yeah, and then because that's all they were saying during the movie, that granola, I'm not granola, Gamma 1 and 2 were Goku Vegeta level, or Toriyama saying now Piccolo has the power to rival Goku and Vegeta, and Piccolo has not had his rematch since Dragon Ball. So you get a new form, why not test it against the strongest Z fighter?
Yep. That would be. Yep, that would be pretty good, I think.
I mean, I'm not saying get crazy and have Goku and Vegeta versus Piccolo and Gohan in a 2-on-2, which that would be entertaining.
I almost think, side note, I think Broly has to fight Frieza first.
Yeah, someone needs to tell Broly that Frieza's the one who killed his dad.
I also need to see, Black Frieza decimate Broly
Oh,
after Broly decimated Golden Frieza. Like,
yeah.
you want to talk about, you know, setting yet another tone or like, making the exclamation point even larger. Like, yeah, Black Frieza, knocking out Goku and Vegeta, but like literally beating the dog shit out of the guy who beat the dog shit out of him. That would that's what I need to see.
I was thinking you have something super crazy where you establish Frieza, which would make no because I would want to see. What if he took over those five universes that weren't in the Tournament of Power?
Oh, Frieza.
Hmm.
He really needs to go and just destroy an entire universe. Like, send a message to Zeno now that he's Black Frieza. Like, he'd be like, hey, at the Tournament of Power, I said I was going to conquer you. Now I'm going to.
Well, the universe would be six. He'd kill six. They have Sans in it. He hates them. It would be six.
It'd be good if that was the first universe he destroyed.
He's like,
Sends a message,
yeah,
kills Beerus' brother.
I killed most Sans before. I'll do it here too.
Yep, I killed all the Saiyans and my God of Destruction's brother. Yep.
But that'd be really it. Mitch, anything else? It looks like this next chapter is not coming out on the 20th. Looks like it's coming out on the 19th.
Ooh, 19th again. We won't be late this time, hopefully.
Yeah, it's looking like the 19th. So we will be on the lookout for that. Mitch, anything else?
Well, that's it for me for the night.
All right. With that being said, thank you everyone for listening to the L7C podcast. We greatly appreciate your taking the time. Yep, March 19th, 2023, new chapter comes out. We definitely appreciate you guys listening to our stuff. Make sure, depending on when these orders come out, listen to the strongest of Dragon Ball Super podcast. That was really fun to do. And then also listen to this as well. Thank you, everyone, once again. You guys take care.